I'm Bhavana Gentler, and I am current president of IAB, which is Indian Americans for Burlington. It's an absolute honor to welcome you all to this special event hosted by Indian Americans for Burlington. Tonight, we come together not just as the residents of Burlington, but as a community that believes in democracy, civic engagement, and empowering the voices of our future leaders. Before we begin, I would like to extend a special thanks to Spiceman, who has been sponsoring our tonight's snack and chai. This evening is a unique event. We are bringing two powerful elements. Meet and greet event with the town election candidates. For the first time ever, a speech competition featuring young, passionate speakers from our community. It is a night of ideas, inspirations, and engagement. Before we dive in, I would like to introduce the new leadership team of IAB, a group of dedicated individuals committed to making our community stronger. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause. I would like to welcome our Secretary, Sandhya Krishnan. Our Treasurer, Smita Kapadia. And our Directors, Deepak Dewar. Atul Mamar, Hacenta Keenan, Shruti Prajapati, Vaidhi, and Rachina, who is not here with us today, she's been traveling. And finally, I'm proud to serve as the president of IAB, believing deeply in the power of small actions that bring people together and make a lasting impact. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce our secretary and the MC for the evening, Sandhya Krishnan. Someone who brings heart, humor, and great energy to every event. Please join me in Sandhya Krishnan and welcoming Sarvex.
Yes, you can go. Yeah, okay. This evening's program. So Burlington is a town that thrives on participation and shared responsibility. Our local government shapes the policies that affect our schools, businesses, and daily lives. This meet and greet is your opportunity to hear directly from the candidates who seek to serve us. Your persistence, your votes, and your engagement makes a difference. Additionally, we strongly believe in actually the voices of our younger generation. Tonight's stage competition is designed to celebrate the power of words and inspire future leaders. So before we go further, we wanted to keep the flow of the program, so we decided to have two of the top election candidates go with their speeches, and then we will have one of the speech competition from the kids. Does that sound good? Thank you. So, the rules for this town election candidate speeches. Each candidate has 2 minutes to introduce themselves and to share their vision.
All right, okay. I read this today, 1 minute. Like, yes, and 1 minute, they should take a little more also.
He should tell.
But thank you for inviting me. I've lived in Burlington for 55 years. I moved here in February 69, oddly followed by a specific children. That was my welcome to Burlington. In that 55 years, I had served 36 years as a town meeting member, 10 of which I taught the ways and means. And more importantly, I've previously served 17 years on the planning board. I was 2 years to my 4th term, and I left because my wife was ill and I couldn't go. They'd leave her home alone safely to go to the meeting, so I left. But I was ready to get back, so now with two very experienced members of the planning board meeting, we're losing a lot of experience and historical knowledge on that board. I think that my previous 17 years on the board, my activity as town meeting brings some historical knowledge and experience back to the board, and I think that's one reason why I should get back on it for great. And also, my legal training experience, I am an attorney, helps me deal with the very complicated zoning bylaw. It's long, it is complicated, and it's very tough reading if you understand how. Please, it's not easy to wade through. In this election, you get to vote for two. There's three of us running two seats, and unfortunately, three very qualified people. One of us is not going to make it on there. But I'm hoping that you will give Jack Kelly one of your votes. Thank you very much.
As a member of town meeting, should I be elected, I promise to be a fair, transparent, and honest voice for everybody. Doesn't matter what you believe, my job is to listen to your concerns and represent them at the town during our meetings. I've been looking at some of the attendance records of current town meeting members, and honestly, it's abysmal. I couldn't be going around asking for people's vote if I can't do the most basic responsibility of just showing up to represent you. Barring any extreme circumstances, I promise each and every one of you I will be there every meeting to represent your needs. Lastly, being someone who loves history, studies history, reminded of the words of President Kennedy, torch has been passed to a new generation. It's time for my generation to get off TikTok, step up to the plate, and get involved and make a difference. And that's why I run it, because Burlington, it's a great town, and it needs to remain that way for future generations. Thank you.
Yes. So Shweta is not just an accomplished public speaker, storyteller, and writer. She is also one of our Burlington's own. A proud Burlington High School graduate who went on to attend Brown University. She still has deep ties to the community with her parents living here and her continued involvement in mentoring the next generation. Shweta is passionate about guiding young minds, helping them find confidence in their voices, and supporting Gen Z on their college and career journeys. If you are a student thinking about college, storytelling, or public speaking, don't hesitate to connect with Shweta later this evening. She would love to share her insights and help you in any way she can. So, now for the links for the speech competition. Each participant will have 3 to 4 minutes to deliver a speech. The speech can be of any topic of choice. We did provide these topics already. Participants will be judged on content, delivery, clarity, and impact. No use of talks or slides, just the power of words. So with that, let's begin our first round of speeches. So we are inviting Siddharth to this topic of choice is importance of elections. I think that's a very much needed topic for this time. Let's welcome Siddharth here.
Hello everybody, my name is Siddharth Vikram. I'm in 6th grade and I don't live in Burlington, unfortunately. I live in the town next door to Carlisle. Don't hate me for that. But I have a question for all of you. Why was a member of 2024 one of the most exciting, most fun, most drama ties month of the year? Well, I'm pretty sure you're thinking, hey, it's probably my my Diwali party or my Thanksgiving dinner. But I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it was the 2024 election, which leads me perfectly to my topic today. What is the importance of elections? So, first of all, before I talk about the importance, what are elections? Elections are a vote by a group of people to elect a leader to represent them. That's it. Elections don't have to be really big, like the President of the United States, and can be as small as voting for, these people. And elections government. They are a fundamental right for everybody to have to be able to say who's ruling over them. Like, I would not want a dictator ruling over me. I would rather have somebody who cares for my needs. Elections have no discrimination, which gives everybody, no matter their race, no matter their ideas, and no matter their skin color, the same power. But not everybody votes. A whopping 33% of the United States citizens did not vote in the last election, which is a really big number. And that's why I'm here today. I want you to vote. Classic Uncle Sam reference. So how does the U.S. do it? I'm going to be talking about the big, high-level presidential elections right now. Every single state has a certain amount of electoral college votes allocated to it. Let's think of those as points. Whoever party wins more people in those certain states gets to claim those points, and in all, whoever has more points wins. So you have to see that elections are very, very interesting. And the presidential election was, and my school thought so as well. The politics club, which I helped create in my school, wanted to figure out which of the two candidates students liked. So we made a mock election, and it was a very fun process. We went to town hall, we borrowed the 200-year-old ballot box, we set up a room in the community room that we could host our election. And in general, people had fun. We had an 85% turnout, which is way more than the U.S.'s. Take that, U.S. I got a lot of information that I needed to get here today. That it was just, I got that information about the electoral votes. I did not even know before this, I was like, what are electoral votes? But now I know about them, and I think it's a very interesting topic to learn about. So to conclude, elections are the key point of stability in a government. They allow anybody to decide the fate of a government and are a great power to have, which cannot be taken away. I would like to end with a quote by Martin Luther King. Our days begin to end the day we stop speaking about things that matter. Elections matter. Elections matter for me, elections matter for you, and elections should matter for every single citizen of the United States of America. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me today, Madam President. Thank you and your whole committee. Thank you. I'm honored to be here again. Big shout outs to you guys, the little guy over there. That's pretty impressive. Nice job. So I'll run it again. Last year was my first year to run as town meeting member, precinct 3. I was successful in winning a seat. And I love it so much, and I have so much more work to do. I love advocating for people and making an impactful difference by doing things that are right and honest, by listening to people, and by being out there, being a hands-on individual. I think that's the best way to serve our community, to be out there, to be present, and just do what's honestly right in my heart. So I'm a single mom of 4 kids that are all large. I've been in I've been in the semiconductor industry.
Thank you very much. My notes up. I appreciate what being here today. I appreciate you guys putting this on as always. Nick Priest running for my 3rd term. This went for it, 3-year term. But it's out my entire life. I'm not going to go through my history. If you have questions about who I am, how long I've been at town, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer your questions. 2 things were said today. First off, 11 years old. Amazing job.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Absolutely clap. That was...
Kids get more gusto than half of us, I tell you. At 11, I wasn't talking like that. 2 things were said today I want to touch upon real quick, and then I'll talk about some things that are important to me, and then I'll leave you all home. Notions of small acts and the importance of their impact. I think that when we talk about community, and we talk about what we're doing, we talk about why people don't vote, right? It's because people aren't paying attention to how important small acts are. and how each of us has to put in just a little bit of effort, right? I tell my kids this when we talk about how they have to clean their room, right? They get to the end of the week and they haven't touched a thing on the floor, right? I'm tripping over everything. Guys, you have to clean your room. I'm like, Dad, it takes too long. I understand that, but if every day you put in 2 minutes on Saturday morning, you'd spend 5 more minutes, you'd be done. You wouldn't have to waste an hour in here making you and I both crazy. And I think people forget about the overall impact that can be had when we do that kind of work. And I think that we have to do it here in our community first before we do it anywhere else. I think it's also important too to recognize, you said about who's ruling over us, right? Remember this, elected officials are servants. We do this work for you and for us. I am not ruling over anyone, okay? We are in this together. It is a boat that we all have to row in. No one should be ruling over anyone. We should be doing the work together. I represent you. That way, all you have to do is show up and vote, or bother me with a phone call or an email, which I'm happy to deal with, right? But that's what I talk about when we talk about small acts, okay? So real quick, don't forget to support your community. Some things that are important to me when it comes to this community, infrastructure, right? I think we can spend a lot of time talking about things like sidewalks, double poles, right? Ways to beautify the community and keep it beautiful, ways to call home home, right? I think that that's really important. I think that when we talk about roles of government, a really big sticking point for me is communication, right? With call it the disillusion of media, right? The way it's kind of democratized. People are now kind of in their own spheres, and we have to find a way to bring each other together. I think it's incumbent upon government to fill that role moving forward. Lastly, I think it's really key to be talking about economic development, both what we can be doing today and what we need to be doing for the future to make sure the community stays strong at all times. I'm happy to take questions later, or like I said, feel free to call, email, whatever it is. I look forward to talking to everybody, and thanks for coming out today.
Gavande. She's going to talk about democracy and youth. Can you guys believe it? She's 10 years old and she's going to be a tyrant already.
Good morning, respect. I can't see you. Okay. Good evening, respected judges, friends, and everyone here. I'm Ariana, a 10-year-old budding and youthful resident of Carlisle, not Burlington, unfortunately. And I am very excited to share with you all about something that's all around us, democracy, and the impact youth will have on it in the coming years. So, you might be wondering, what does democracy have to do with kids like me? Well, let me tell you. Democracy isn't just about adults voting or politicians making decisions. It's about all of us, including young people, having a voice and making a difference in the world we live in. So, what is democracy? It comes from the Greek words meaning people rule. It's a system where everyone gets to participate. Like in a classroom when we vote on a book to read or a project to do. Everyone's voice counts. Imagine if only one person chose everything. No thanks. Adults vote to choose their leaders and make decisions that affect their lives. But democracy isn't just about elections. It's about listening to different opinions. But what about kids like me and teenagers? Did you know that young people are the future of democracy? Even though we may not be old enough to vote yet, we can still play a big role in shaping our communities and making them better. How? By speaking up, by sharing our ideas, by standing up for what is right. Democracy is teamwork. In my school, we have a student council where kids represent their classmates. When I was chosen to be our class representative, I learned that being a good listener is super important. I had to listen to everyone's ideas, not just my friends, before making decisions. That's what democracy is about. Listening to different voices.
Please, George.
Okay. Did you know in some countries, young people have led important movements for change? In Pakistan, a girl named Malala stood up for education for girls when she was just a little older than me. Greta Thunberg was just 15 when she started fighting for our planet. In 3rd grade, as part of my school project on civic duties, I wrote some concerns to President Biden for my town in Ohio, where I used to live. Guess what? I got a response back from how the problem can be solved. My voice mattered. We may be young, but our voices matter. We can ask questions when things don't seem fair. We can stand up for friends who aren't being heard. Listen for issues in our community. Work together to practice decisions. So my message to all young people is this: don't wait until you're older to make a difference. Start now. Learn about your community. Speak up for what matters to you and inspire others to do the same. Democracy needs fresh ideas and energy. And who has more energy than kids? Friends, democracy is like a pizza. If only one person chooses toppings, it's boring. But when everyone shares ideas, we get the best pizza in the world and the best world. So the next time you see a problem, like litter in the park or a friend feeling left out, ask, how can I help? Remember, your voice is your superpower. So let's make our future fair, fun, and full of teamwork. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for hosting this again. Jeremy Harrington, obviously, we're going to go planning board because I believe a thoughtful and inclusive community-driven planning of our town is essential to preserving the character of our town. The world around us is changing, and it's changing fast. Some of the things that make this town awesome are the fact that we have each commercial residential balance. We have to continue to work with the evolving rights and plan accordingly to preserve what has made this town special. These are the reasons my family moved here, uproots down here. This is why we had kids were raised from young love it. It's had 10 years left in the school systems. I have 20 years left before I retire, at least simmering then, but we'll see what happens. But either way, my point is I'm invested in this town. I've invested in the decisions that are made, and these decisions have to be inclusive, they have to be forward-looking, and they have to be based on a strategic vision. And we have to make sure it's not done for developers, and it's not done just at both of us. The voices of all the people lend to us to build strong land. So, a vote for me is about to work together to respect the identity of the town that we've gone into last, and to make sure that we preserve that going forward, but listen to each other, understand what's happening in the business world. I've run restaurants, I understand small margins. Run a strategy department in a major corporation. I know how to take a vision and make it implementable. I want to take those skills, I want to put them to use for Burlington. As my family's fallen in love with this town, we want to make sure preserve it for our kids and for everybody else. And Terry.
Hi, everybody. I did not come here to speak. I just came here to be invited. Yes, I've been on the school committee a long time. I've been to Burlington for 53 years. I moved here in 1973. So I've been on the school committee, was on from 87 to something at the house, and then back in. So I've been on a long time, and I love our schools, and I love young people. So all these little kids, I want to take you home with me, all right? anyway, we do the best we can with our schools, and we really work hard at it. Right now, we're doing a new Fox Hill school, and we're trying to do a new high school. And it's a really busy time with a lot of important decisions to make, and we're working hard. So please give me one of your votes for school committee, even though I'm unopposed. I like to collect votes. It makes me feel good. So that's about it. Thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. What if I told you that leadership isn't about being in charge? It's about taking care of the people, those in your charge. Great leaders don't demand respect. They earn it, and they do it through responsibility. We admire people like Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and even some of our best teachers and leaders, not because of their authority, but because we respect them. Hi everyone, my name is Silas Rajkash, and today I want to challenge the way that we think about leadership. Because leadership isn't just for CEOs or world leaders, it's for all of us, and it starts with one simple but powerful thing: responsibility. So let's talk about it. Alright, so good question. How many of us here have ever pretended something wasn't our fault? Maybe you broke something and just stared at it like, who did that? Or you were supposed to send an email, totally forgot, and hit them with the, oh, you didn't get it? That's so strange. Must have been a glitch. Yeah, we've all done it. Humans are professionals at dodging responsibilities. Some of us are so good at it, we can even put it on our resume. But here's the thing. Real leaders don't dodge responsibility. They run right toward it. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, when I say the word leader, what's the first image that pops into your head? A CEO, a world-class leader giving a speech, some guy standing on the top of the mountain looking all inspirational? Yeah, that's what most people think. But in reality, leaders have nothing to do with the title at all. You don't need to be in charge. You don't need permission. You don't need permission. It's when your green project is falling apart. Instead of saying, not my problem, you say, okay, let's fix it. When you see something unfair happening and actually do something instead of looking the other way. When all things go wrong, instead of pointing fingers, you take action. Leadership isn't about power. It's about the impact. And fun fact, most great leaders that we see today never actually wanted to be leaders. They just took responsibility when no one else did. Alright, now let's talk about the two different types of leaders. The first leader, they lead through fear and control, such as autocratic leaders. They're the ones to say, I'm the boss, so do what I say. They want to be in charge, but they don't actually inspire anyone to follow them. The second type, they lead through respect and action, such as the participative leaders. They don't have to say, I'm in charge. People follow them because they respect them, because they show up and they make things better. Now, let's be honest. Who do you actually want to be? Exactly. If you have to tell people you're a leader, you're probably not one. And if you mess up, own it, laugh about it, and move forward. Because the best leaders aren't the ones who never fail, but the ones who fail, who take responsibility and move on and turn it into a great story. So go out there, lead with confidence, and take responsibility when it counts. And please, for the love of the teamwork, stop blaming the dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ivy, for holding the event today. It's always a great event in election season, always one of my favorites. As you mentioned, my name is Mike Spanko. I'm running for select board for my second term. Previously, I was on the Zoning Board of Appeals and on Planning Board. And I've lived most of my life here in Burlington. And the reason I serve is it's a late growth line. This town has been very good to me. I grew up here. Burlington schools, graduated from Burlington High, and when I decided where I wanted to live in life, I knew Burlington was the place. And the best way I thought to give back was to run for town government. And one of the great things, I'm so happy to see such a full ring today, that you can do as
a member of Burlington and a citizen in this country is vote in a local election. I think their local elections have more impact on your day-to-day life than the national elections. And it's funny how we have it switched where the turnout, the national elections, is so great, and the votes for local elections, the turnouts are so much lower. But here, on the local level, we all want clean water, we all want clean schools, we all don't want to drive over the potholes in front of Papagenos. We do a lot of great things here on the local level. And I'm so happy to see that IED and York City engaged in the process. That's a great way to know what's going on. And thank you for everyone who's on the ballot. It takes a lot to run one of these campaigns, and to put yourself out there to serve the community is very additive. So thank you for your time today. And just a quick shout out to our student speakers. I think we have some future leaders amongst us. They are all incredible. Great job with all of you. And that's it. I haven't practiced my speaking skills. So great job to everyone, and thank you again. Look forward to taking your questions later, and you're going to have a great afternoon.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. As you said, my name is Gregory Ryan. I have been in Burlington since 1997. I have 5 kids. I live over on Donald Road. They've all gone through the school system. My 13-year-old daughter is in the 8th grade. I currently run my own business. I'm a Ryan Advisory Services. My first business was Burlington in 1990, and I was doing the executive part, and I was on Middlesex Turnpike. I'm originally from upstate New York, and I've been in Massachusetts about 35 years. So that's me. All right. Now let's talk about Burlington for a minute. One of the issues that we always face, we all get busy with our daily lives, so we don't necessarily what's going on around us. As an example, I was walking to Argue Basket last Sunday, and I thanked a friend of ours who would allow me to put a sign in their yard. And she had said to me, so what are the issues facing Burlington? And I started to explain that to her, her husband. She said, I never knew that. I never run the sleep back. So some of the things that the planning board has to deal with, I'll give you a few examples, are town meeting just approved what's going to be called next due, which is going to be housing, potential housing along Middlesex Turnpike and Malt Road around the wall. We've also just town meeting also just passed what's called middle house, which hopefully will be some housing down on top of the commercial sites down in the center of town. But then we also have what's called the accessory dwelling units. So every town, state of Massachusetts on February 7th, passed the move about accessory dwelling units, which allows every single family residence in town to add a second small house on their block for in-laws or kids, might leave the house to try. But that would allow to keep families together longer, opportunities for youngsters to stay with their parents longer, but be out of that end. Also, we are looking at another building going up on Middlesex Turnpike for up to 175 apartments. So there are a lot of things that go on in this town that are just that we don't know about unless they're getting attention. And to what everybody else has said here today, Burlington is actually quite neat, where our residential tax rate is 1/3 the commercial tax rate. And so therefore, every $2 or every $1 we bring in, we have to pay. Commercial pays $2. And so we need to focus on 2 things: making sure our commercial enterprises stay in town and having smart, sustainable growth. Thank you very much.
Thank you for evening, everyone. Thank you, Indian Americans for Burlington, for hosting this event, and let me introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Priest, and I'm excited to be running for town clerk. I have nearly a decade of experience in municipal government, and currently serving as office managers in the town Department of Youth and Family Services. In this role, I manage office operations, coordinate with various town departments, help ensure efficient service public service delivery. My journey of public service actually began at high school. I grew up in Middle Burlington, which is now southeastern Mass. And I started working for our Parks and Recreation Department as a lifeguard and swimming instructor. That early experience taught me the importance of serving my community, and my commitment has carried through my career. Over the years, I've gained deep understanding of municipal processes, budgeting, record keeping, municipal community engagement. My work has always been people-centered, enforcing my commitment to the transparency, efficiency, accessibility to local government. I'm passionate about building on the strong foundation already placed by our current town clerk, B. Warfield, and ensuring residents continue to have access to accurate information, fair elections, the excellent and the excellent services from the clerk's office. I'm honored to earn your support. They will fit. Thank you again for having me, and I look forward to connecting with all of you tonight.
The liner. And the last 36 years I used to. I'm running a toast. A lot of my colleagues here the more unique today. So for the last 36 years, I have been called it kindness of progress. This community picking up a contamination here. And work is helped attract 21 biotechs to this town. We've had clients for planets all Burlington, from the center of office space, from the center of retail to a hub of science, the biological technology. I'm also here for another reason, and that is the Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps. It is your members. And we're always looking for additional deals beyond the solicitation. We have about 300 members, and these members come from all walks of life, holding everybody's here to become just out there for this volunteer organization or in this unit. But we had emergency during the pandemic. Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps was there. We've accident youth flu programs. The Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps there. Whenever we have warming centers, schooling centers, whatever, we're looking for volunteers. So I brought some brochures. I have a sign-up sheet, and I'm here to answer any questions you have. Thank you very much.
The opportunity to speak this evening. Good evening, everyone. As you heard, my name is Anthony Clark, and I am running in Precinct 6. I am a recent addition to our local community here at Burlington. I moved in 3 months ago, and it is, even though I haven't been here as long as some of our local residents, I've thoroughly enjoyed the process of getting to know and learning to love the community here. I found our community here more rapidly than any other place I've been in. My life so far has been predominantly one of service, whether it is serving my town, serving people outside of my town, or miscellaneous community service. I spent the first decade in the Boy Scouts learning how to lead, how to lead from behind, and how to self-achieve goals, and how to make a change. As I've been getting to know our community here, one of the concerns that is rung loud and clear above everything else is the need for adaptability in a changing. I was seeking and hoping to be the force for positive change and adaptability in our community to make things safer, more sustainable for not just us who are here today, but those of us who will come tomorrow. Future leaders and, frankly, the children of those who are in town today and have been young and want to stay here. I want to make that a possibility for them. Which is why I'm asking for one of your 6 votes this coming April. Thank you. Have a lovely evening.
the was make it very outstep this and that's a big time the facility really looked of the only to my developed was
Splendid.
it is our meeting member since May of 2012. Moved to Burlington late 2002. So he's been watching this now grow and change quite a while, and we're just getting started. I've had a chance to equally time some meetings to serve on the Transportation Committee back in 2020, where we looked at when we talked about the vast infrastructure. That we figured out pretty quickly that transportation is more than just presence. It's really a matter of access. I mean, access all the benefits that Burlington has to offer. And how do we let people from outside of Burlington access small businesses? It's some business on the tier. So it's honestly foundational. Because that's what town meetings really helps us to do, is to shape future the town. And that's one of the things that I found very rewarding of town meeting. That's one of the reasons I'm running again. There's a lot of work to do because we've got some really tough decisions coming up, and we need people to be engaged. And I want to hear from you, particularly to us 327, but even if not, you're all citizens of Burlington. We all are. Town meeting is unique. It is the foundation of democracy. Not every town has it. This is a precious thing that we're participating in. So, see you for Prison Senate. We'll ask for your support April 5th. But happy to have the opportunity to speak today. Whatever you do, show up on this visit vote. Please. Say who you vote for. Show up. That's the first part of success. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate this thing. One final shout out to you young speakers. Move to Burlington. I'm going to see you at town meeting in 10 years.
I've been missed by more than one person, so I'll try to get over it. My name is Bill Byer. I am the current town leader, and I am running for re-election. As I've said to people before, I'm very opposed, but I consider your vote very important because I really want to get more votes for me than blanks against me. Very important. And I want to make a comment on the importance of the town government. Next month we'll be celebrating the 250th anniversary of Lexington and Concord, and so we 250 years ago, the good men of Woburn's second parish, which is now Burlington, gathered on the lawn of the top of the meeting house, which was the local church, which is still standing there, corner Lexington and Bedford Street, to march off to Lexington and Concord. And people look at that as one of the great triggers of the Revolutionary War. But I want to say that one of the great triggers was Halloween and local government. With actually the Boston Tea Party, British Parliament passed what they call I forget the name of the act, where it closed the Port of Boston and did some other things. One thing that does not get much notice is that abolished all local government in Massachusetts. It got rid of town meeting, it got rid of boards of selectmen or whatever. And the reaction by the good people of Massachusetts was to run Salesbury local magistrate out of town. Some of them are even started even on the rail, so that when we got to this point 250 years ago, the only
crowd presence in the city was in Boston, because when they abolished town government, take people off enough, they get rid of them. So, 250 years ago, and people looked at local government as something extremely critical. And that is what I thank you and all of you for showing up and hopefully partaking in this critical piece of our democracy. So thank you.
He is a seasoned speaker and writer, but also someone who deeply values public speaking as a tool for leadership and confidence. Shweta, we welcome you to share your reflections and announce the winners of our very first IAB speech competition. Let's give up the standing ovation. Thank you everyone for being here. If the activists actively say that I am the oldest born and bred Burlingtonian that is in this room. So thank you everyone, because you have in some way participated in my life without knowing about it. There's something that I just noticed tonight, which is a similarity between the public speaking students and then also the candidates, which is that your voice won't be heard unless there's an audience, unless there's a group, unless there is someone you're speaking to. And that is what gives purpose to what you have to say. Something I loved about listening to songs. They put them on paper, they rehearsed, they gave personality, they had a sense of poise, and they shared it with a room of people who I can probably guarantee shuddered at the thought of speaking in front of people much older and very different from whom you are. And then what I saw in all of the candidates who were coming up here is an appeal to the community to show up, because your decisions may select who's going to be making that decision for this town. And that's really important. So I just want to say to everyone who's here, thank you for showing up. Because a public speaker is only as important. They're only as important as their audience. And candidates, elected officials, are only as important as the communities that they're affecting. I don't like to use the term winner, because I have no cultivators. Everybody has said this, but everybody is a winner. And that's beautiful. Now, we have 3 medals. They are stratified by gold, silver, and rankings. I do not want you to take them home and think that you are 1, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. I want you to take them home as a symbol of your participation, as a symbol of the importance of your voice, and as a kudos for getting up in front of a room of people and speaking about something that is important to you. Nobody's here humbled. Nobody's here had their face very tickled. Everyone looked at us, they spoke to us, and they added their own pizzazz. So, before I announce who's going to get the 3 medals, I want to first say something positive about this, because I think that it's important. So I'm just going to go by the order of these certificates I have in front of me. But Silas, you have a quiet confidence to how you stood. That's important in a leader. A leader should be grounded. A leader should have a sense of home. A leader should be able to speak to the community that they're speaking to and convince them that nothing's going to make me get too excited, and nothing is going to make me power into a point who has that. That is one of your superpowers. Don't forget it. Then we have our earbud. There is a very curling, incorrect assumption that young girls are quiet. And we don't talk very much, and we don't have very many opinions, and we're not very strong. What you have is courage. And courage gets people very, very far in life. You came up here, you held your own. You did it with a sense of organization. You did it with a sense of grace. And you did it with a sense of consistency that is very hard to achieve, even in the greatest speakers that are out there. You are brave. And then to our first speaker, Siddharth. They always say that the best leaders have something that most of us don't. I like to think of that as charisma, as an ability to make them feel something, whether that be joy, humor, anger, just something that makes them move. You know, what you had is the ability to make people move. You had this entire room giggling and chuckling and rooting you on. I mean, if you saw the two candidates who came up after you, they looked stunned because they sat here and said, well, how do I follow a 11-year-old who just blew us all out of the water? Always, always be proud of that charisma and proud of that personality. And always incorporate that personality to whatever you do. That's your brand. And your brand is what makes people remember you. And you are very memorable. So, this is, like I said, in no particular order, but it's by how I like the colors and what color I thought suited me best. So, with the brown spittle will be a little stylish. So here you go. Thank you so much.
Last but not least, our golden girl, Ariana.
Can you come forward a little bit just for...
There you go.
Come up forward a little. No, not Ariana, just her. Ariana. Yeah, just for the first one.
Hold the certificate. Yay!
So much due to all the candidates. I thank you for coming out this year. We're probably one of the first generations of a larger African American population in Burlington. I grew up with not really knowing how much the town cared about us. And the fact that you're here, that you participated means a lot. Amazing.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to have you here. Not only that we
You shared your reflections, but also you showed the public speaking flavor of that for us. I'm sure these students can learn a lot from you. Thank you. Now I'm asking by the he should be a volunteer appreciation remarks. From organizing the events like tonight's meet and greet to helping with the cultural celebrations and the community outreach, our volunteers are the backbone of this organization. Without their commitment, hard work, and passion, none of this would be possible. So I would like there are so many volunteers actually help us throughout the year, so it doesn't, limit what we are, the people who are here, but we are just going to give some certificates to the volunteers who are currently present right here. So I'm just going to request our IME to come here and give the certificates. So the first one is Ashley Agenton. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Akshara Agrawal. Stand. Yeah, means congrats in that.
Yes, I got.
Akshara audio हो गई है.
That's all right.
Chitra.
I'm going to stop it.
There's happens. There's your house my game. Because again, stay. Please do.
Why? It is the good.
Sandhya Krishnan. Lastly, there is also a kitchen. You don't want to see what she is doing. Now, do you why you volunteer? It is an accept. That's true. Vijay Patil.
Japan. That's hard.
You go take again. Vikas Kapadia.
He also left. See.
Lion.
Smita.
Sun Patel.
Who's back?
Okay. Thank you so much, all the volunteers who have helped us in tremendous way to organizing all these events throughout the year. And we are hoping the same commitment for upcoming year as well. So thank you so much.